Hello everybody, Luke back once again, this time to take a look at everything we know about the brand new Call of Duty game coming out in 2021. It has been confirmed, but beyond that, there's not a whole lot of confirmed details, though we're starting to get kind of a picture from many reliable sources out there of when the game will be set, when it's coming out, and maybe who's developing it. We're going to break this all down. I will put links to my sources down in the show notes down below if you want to check those out. But we're going to let you know everything I could find about Call of Duty 2021 before it's actually announced later this spring for a fall 2021 release. We'll talk about that release date, setting, developer, and more. Alright, so Call of Duty, one of the biggest games out there in the world of first-person shooting, arguably at this moment the gold standard for first-person shooters that everybody's compared against. Right or wrong, that just seems like if you're a first-person shooter, you got compared to Call of Duty right now. Now, I've actually been a huge Call of Duty fan. Back in the World at War days in the late 2000s, actually ran the most popular dedicated PC server for Call of Duty World at War, the play and friendly servers back in the day. But now they're back. Sorry PC gamers, don't look for dedicated servers. Let's take a look at everything we know. Alright, starting off, if you're new here though, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. I really would appreciate it because it lets YouTube know you enjoy this channel that we're just getting launched. This is my newest channel. We're trying to get this going with gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and a whole lot more. Alright, let's actually get into the gaming news now, starting off with the developer. According to reports, Sledgehammer is going to be the big developer on this. It's kind of a 3-year rotation now. It used to be a 2-year between Infinity Ward and Treyarch developing Call of Duty games. Now it's a 3-year development cycle with Treyarch, Sledgehammer, and Infinity Ward developing Call of Duty games. People were expecting Sledgehammer's game to be last year's game, but it ended up being Treyarch's Black Ops Cold War. Now that has led speculation to believe that this year's game will be a bigger game and Sledgehammer got some additional time to develop the game for whatever reason. That's speculation right now, but there's a lot of little hints out there that that could be the case. We'll keep a close eye on it, but it will be very surprising if Sledgehammer is not the developer. If that is the case, you have to wonder if they're maybe being removed from the cycle of developers. We'll wait and see. Now the thing that most Call of Duty gamers want to know, what's the time period, what's the setting for this game? And there's actually kind of 2.5 big leaks right now that are contradictory of each other. But I actually think what we're getting is we're getting leaks about this year's game and next year's game. So we could very well have both of these be true. Just one of them will be for next year, or it's the early stages of that development. Take that with a grain of salt because next year's game is definitely not set in stone. Could change dramatically still between now and when it's announced over a year from now. So we'll keep a close eye on it. But the first leak comes from Tom Henderson. I hope I pronounced that right. Apologize if I didn't. On his Twitter account, he leaked that according to him, the new game would be called Guerrilla Warfare. Now, it's been reported that this would be set in the 50s, but some are saying that may not be fully accurate. Now, there's been some other reports that suggest that the game will be set maybe during the Korean War or Korea in general. And the Korean War happened during the 1950s, I believe 1950 through 1953, if I remember that correctly. Now that would support, though some people have suggested that this could be a Korean War in modern times. That's a modern game in a fictional North-South Korea war where we live out what would happen if there was a new Korean War happening right now. That would be extremely touchy, especially with how big Call of Duty is over in that kind of area. It would probably create a lot of political trouble. We'll see how that plays out. Your guess is as good as mine, but there does seem to be a lot of information pointing to maybe a 1950 style, but the Korean War wasn't really a guerrilla warfare. So I'm kind of hesitant on that. I wouldn't be surprised to find out if Korea may be part of it, one of the story elements, but this is more about the Cold War guerrilla warfare tactics happening all over the world in the 50s and 60s maybe, but we just did Black Ops. So I'm a little interested in that. That seems possible, but it does seem a little weird to do 2 games so very similar back to back. We'll wait and see. Guerrilla Warfare could mean anything and could be very different down the road. The second big leak points to this being a game set in World War II once again. Now, we've had several, of course, the original Call of Duties, Call of Duty at War, and just a few years ago, Call of Duty World War II. But reports are we may be a little bit more focused on the Pacific campaign in this one. And there are reports from Victor Z on Twitter, who has another good record of being very accurate on this. Now the question is, which one of these 2 very good sources of getting leaks about these kind of games are correct? Are we going to see Guerrilla Warfare, or are we going to see another World War II game? Or are they combined? Are people kind of reading into this too far? The Pacific, you could definitely make a bigger argument, was more of a guerrilla warfare type system as you went from island to island than maybe the Korean War was, which was more of a traditional warfare, one of the last traditional big wars here. So it'll be interesting to see how these play out. Though clearly we could have both of these correct. We could have one of these games coming out this year, maybe a Korean War 1950s one, and then next year have the World War II game come out. We'll wait and see. It wouldn't actually be too bad to see a remake of World at War. It was a very popular Call of Duty game at the time, and still has a lot of people playing it online today. The question though is, is that where Activision wants to take Call of Duty, to start remaking some of their older games? They've kind of done that, but always try to do it different. And then we have the Modern Warfare, which was a remake. But for their mainstay, average big releases, are we going to get to the point where that's kind of the thing, where we're seeing a remake of a Call of Duty game in a big release slot? We'll see. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But for now, release date still looks to be pegged for October, November. Would not be surprised at all to find it in early November to give the developer a little bit more time, because 2020 happened and 2020 kind of screwed up all the timelines for games. We'll have to wait and see what happens out there. But let me know what you think. Which one of these rumors do you think is correct? Are we going to see a 1950s, maybe Korean War? Is it going to be called Guerrilla Warfare? Are we going back to World War II, as other leaks have suggested? I'd love to know what you think. Leave me a comment, let me know. Alright, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us, because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, and hopefully we can help you learn something new. Thanks for your support. We really appreciate it.